I have the distinct pleasure of introducing a newly acquired friend whose acquaintanceship at a personal level happened with me last evening, Krishnan CA. I must say I was deeply impressed that Krishnan came to me as a thorough professional. I realized how organized he is, and I'm so delighted that he's heading one of India's finest education enterprises being run by Tata Consultancy Services, which in itself is a fine organization. And Krishnan heads the iON strategy. I must say I'm not fully acquainted with this particular branch, and I'm looking forward to his inputs. But I mean, one of the things that I like about Krishnan and people like him is that they bring such enormous real-world experience, and education is all about acquiring wisdom through experience. So he's been in the banking sector, the telecom sector, the retail sector, and management, and now education. And education is nothing but blending all these experiences, taking out the best from them, making our young minds more interested, more capable, and then for them to move into the real world and enrich it further with these experiences. And Krishnan, I look forward to your presentation. Please go ahead.
Am I audible, Dr. Dinesh?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And my presentation also, I presume, is visible.
Yes.
Thank you for those very kind words, Dr. Dinesh. Just to introduce myself, I head the business unit for higher education. And this is an area that at TCS and TCS iON, we are very deeply passionate as one of the largest recruiters in the country. We recruit almost 40,000 young professionals on an average every year. In the last couple of years, given the current pandemic situation, we have worked very closely with more than 23,000 organizations. And earlier today, we also heard how the Techno India group is implementing our solution. So we are deeply invested in looking at how we can bring technology, not just from running the institution, supporting the institution, but also play a key role as a corporate to look at curriculum and embed the industry context in the curriculum. And I'm very happy to be given this opportunity to interact with my fellow panelists, as well as the leaders from academia who have joined us today. This has been a very difficult time, but it is also a time where we have seen significant adoption of technology, not just in education, but across industries. And today, I believe that institutions are becoming more closer to the expectation of the millennial generation by adopting not just technology, but also new pedagogy in learning. So in the next 10 minutes, I want to give my perspective in the last many years interacting with heads of institutions across domains. And let me start off before we look at the strategy on what is the problem that we need to solve. And this is a quick recap. Most of us know about these challenges that has existed even before the pandemic. But it's important to just quickly highlight all of this together. As we've been discussing since morning, today, the academic curriculum has to definitely keep pace with the industry. If that is not done, then what we will end up creating is a set of individuals who are not employable. And even if we go by any statistics today, it is a known fact that India does not produce employable talent. Now, this cannot be said across consistently to every university, but this is a general challenge. As a corporate, we are aware, and we just don't want to, say that, okay, this is somebody else's problem. We want to come together, and this outreach is one of them, to see how we can sit together and address this challenge. Embed curriculum, ensure that the curriculum is kept in pace with what the industry needs, and embed the context of the industry so that this gets taken into account while institutions are designing the pedagogy. And we are playing a very important role in not just recommending, not just helping institutions design, but also take part in delivery of the curriculum. So all of these are challenges centered around the curriculum and the lack of industry context. The third area, which I think most of my panelists and leaders from academia have more or less agreed upon, is the experiential component to learning. Today, that is one area where technology can play a significant role. We need to look at our current pedagogy and not just go online. Like the previous speaker mentioned, it's not just about taking a bunch of courses and making it available to the student. We need to do more than that. We need to look at how can we embed the right assessment methodology, the right pedagogy, not just push content and more content, because all of these resources are available, even some of them free of cost on YouTube, and you just need to Google it. But that is not what creates great learning experience. As institutions, we need to come together and ensure that we create a program, modularize the content, contextualize it, and also at every point measure the engagement of the learner throughout the way. And that's how we can make it very experiential. The fourth context that doesn't get talked about a lot, but I believe it is a very big challenge in our country, is access to quality faculty, especially the industry is finding it hard to keep pace with some of the evolving technology. And I can imagine the root cause of the faculty shortage that the academic institutions face. Many institutions, they talk about a lot of the faculty leaving for greener pastures in the industry. And it is tough to actually attract the best of faculty to the institution. And I will talk about one of the ways on how we can overcome this challenge. The other two dimensions, which is a big challenge, is that even if we create the right pedagogy, the right courses, the right experiential hands-on, finally, we would like the students to have good quality internships where we have industry mentors, and the mentors are not just providing an internship and looking the other way. We want a structured process on how these internships are driven, so that the students get good exposure to the industry. At the same time, the industry also uses the opportunity to evaluate the student and see the fitment with the culture, with the values, as well as what the industry requires, and groom and shape up that talent. So this is a win-win situation. It is not something that the institution should be after the corporate. In fact, the corporate should come forward and provide such internship opportunities for our young minds. And we are doing a lot of that in many of the programs that we are implementing. And the last is the outcome link. Finally, we want all of this to translate into outcomes. And as I've been, mentioning it from the beginning, it is important that anything that we do, we always have an end in mind and use that to design the right interventions. So the most important aspect about all of these challenges, in short, is the involvement from the industry, leverage of technology, and look at different models. The question that I want to leave all of you with is, can we Uberize education? We have seen the platform business model adopted in multiple industries. We have seen it adopted in the transportation industry, in the the Facebook is a platform. We have seen it adopted in the in multiple industries. So can we see similar models for education? And here is my recommendation, and we are actively working with many institutions to enable this transformation. The first and the most important thing is, look at programs that are not just decided and delivered by the academia or supported by technology to be delivered in a technology-oriented fashion, but we need active participation from the industry. And the way we are doing it is we are going to the industry and asking, okay, what is the kind of talent that you want? And can you work with us, not just to design, but also spare your subject matter experts to deliver these programs? Because what we are creating is an outcome that the industry needs to absorb. So hence, it is our point of view that the industry needs to play a very prominent role in not just design, but also delivery of the curriculum. The second is, of course, bring in top academic institution. I am of the opinion that not every course in an institution needs to be delivered by the faculty in the institution. The full course need not be delivered because of the faculty shortage. We need to see how we can create a model where the core component of the course is delivered by some of the top faculty from some of the world-renowned universities, either in India or globally, and also the subject matter experts from the industry. And we have the faculty in the college, supporting the students in absorbing the content and ensuring that other components of the program are delivered equally, because student engagement and doubt clarification is also important. So this is a collaboration where we want reputed academia and reputed industry. And we have seen that in the NEP framework that has been introduced, certain institutions are getting the license to do this, but it is also equally important that the rest of the universities absorb this and make it part of the curriculum. The third is the importance of contextual application of knowledge. We can never achieve employable talent unless we have talent and challenge them with industry relevant problems, internships, physical hands-on, internship, mentorship from the industry. So the involvement of the industry in contextualizing the knowledge is equally important, and that it should be a mandatory component of the pedagogy that we will implement. The fourth and a very important aspect is, how do we achieve all this online? I don't believe that we can achieve all of this in a pure online model. The model has to be digital, which leverages the infrastructure that the institution has adopted, and also the quality faculty that are available online virtually. So it should be a hybrid pedagogy. A great example is the TCS iON, how we were able to transform assessment in the country by partnering with over 2,400 institutions and creating over 2.5 lakh nodes to conduct these assessments. Today, many of the high-stake assessments, CAT, GATE, everyone, and many of you who are there in the call are our partners. So a similar model, we are working with some of the top institutions to set up these learning and practice zones, thereby giving access to learners to physical infrastructure that they can use to drive quality learning, and at the same time create an opportunity for the institution to monetize their infrastructure with higher usage. And as we know in economics, with higher usage, the cost of delivering comes down. So it is a win-win-win situation that we are setting up. And the most important aspect is having hands-on learning integrated and becoming a mandatory component of the pedagogy. And another reason why this is such an important component is when today, as a recruiter, when many students show us certification, we not just look at the brand of the institute, but also look at how has been certification been delivered. Is it just as simple as logging in online and just acquiring a certification, or did it involve some amount of physical, experiential, hands-on component? And because we believe that when you try something in a lab, you learn that skill much better than it's just impossible to accomplish that in a pure online model. And the most important thing is, as I mentioned, we need to look at ecosystem leverage, set up the ecosystem. Not everyone needs to do everything. That's the most important thing. And today we are, as TCS iON, setting up such an ecosystem where we have the best of academia, best of corporates coming together, creating learning interventions that the industry needs. We have the best of infrastructure providers, which are colleges who are extending their labs so that there is a locally available infrastructure for students to undergo a course which has the hands-on component. We are bringing some of the top content from content providers to embed into the curriculum so that we can help institutions translate the knowledge into engaging digital delivery. and of course supported by technology, that as one of the leading providers of technology globally that we bring in. The key message is not every institution need to be actually setting up the ecosystem, but every institute can participate in this ecosystem in multiple ways, either having their students acquire these kind of courses, or participating as an infrastructure partner, or extending their faculty if they are very good in certain domains. Clearly the future to transform learning in the country has to be digital, has to be ecosystem led, has to be in a model where every participating partner brings what they are good at, so that collectively we can truly transform the experience for the learner and address many of the challenges that today India faces in transforming its higher education landscape. With that, thank you once again for the opportunity to share my thought process in this area. Thank you, Dr. Dinesh.